In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to edit an object on the same page without redirecting to another page by the use of modals. So I'm going to walk you through the final stage of what we'll be doing by the end of the video. So now let's dive in. What I did was, in the table we have a for loop of all the expenses from the database model. So you have to have the model already created in your model.py. Okay, then after that, with your model, calling for the model on each and every expenses or each and every object created, you have to for loop, you have to add the ID allocated to the data target to be able to call its unique modal. So in the modal form, when I scroll down, you would see that the model has an ID of the expense ID, edit plus the expense ID attached to it. And in this model, they have also looked through all the expenses to be able to get each and every expenses allocated to the modal form. So I'll be able to call the specific modal for the specific edit button which I've created at the top here. So when this button is clicked, you would see in the modal, scroll down, in the modal you see a form here which has each and everything allocated to it. So in the form, you make some fields, input fields inside, and in the value tags, the value forms, you add its values in it. So in case of this drop down like this, you follow the category in the object tag. In the category tag like this, you have to follow the information already in the database and add a value to it, and make sure you write an if statement saying if the expenses dot category is equal to that cat, then you should be selected. If not, it shouldn't. So that when more is being added to it, it doesn't cause any problem to it. So with the forms also, you add the values to it too. All the forms will have a value of the allocated information given to it. With this one, do the same thing. With this one, it will have a value of it. Then you check if that specific expenditure is equated to that option created. If not, it should leave it as non-selected, but if it is, it should be selected. So this is the general of how it's going to be. And in the form, you have to add the expense ID, so that when you are updating it in the backend, you'll be able to get the specific object and update it. So when this is done, we move to the views.py. Then we see that the views.py refreshes all the information allocated to it, and after that you would add an expense. So in the expense model, you call the expense class name here, and object.filter you call using that the ID you placed in the forms here is going to take the ID of that specific object and make the changes here. So when you add .update, it's going to update the information that is already given in the object. So, and this redirects it back to the page. So you don't need to redirect to a different page to be able to edit your information. This is much more simpler than that other method. Thank you.